All right, so there's this new generation of metabolic drugs that's popped up, and it's completely changing the way we talk about weight loss. But, with all this incredible power comes some really important questions about risk. So today, we're going to break down two of the biggest names in the game. Tirzepatide, which is kind of the reigning champ right now, and this experimental newcomer, Retatrutide.
And that's really the big question here, isn't it? When you've got one drug that offers more raw power, but another one has a safety profile we know a lot more about, how do you even begin to make that choice? We're going to get into exactly what those trade-offs look like. So first up, let's just set the stage a little. We're comparing two drugs that are related for sure, but they're also very, very different. One is available right here, right now. It's setting the standard. The other one? Well, that one represents what could be a much more powerful future.
Okay, let's start with Tirzepatide. This is the one you can actually get. It's FDA approved and it already has a track record with, millions of patients. Just think of this as our baseline for what highly effective really means today.
So what exactly is it? Tirzepatide, which you might know as Mounjaro or Zepbound, is what we call a dual agonist. Basically, it mimics two different hormones in your gut, GIP and GLP-1, that help control your appetite and blood sugar. It's this 1-2 punch that makes it so incredibly effective.
And when I say effective, I mean it. The numbers are just staggering. In clinical trials, people on the higher doses lost, on average, around 22% of their body weight. That's not just a small improvement, that's an absolutely game-changing number that sets a crazy high bar for everything else.
And since it's already out there, we have a pretty clear picture of what it does. We've got real-world data, we know it's great for glucose control, and a lot of people find it easier to tolerate than older drugs. The usual side effects are GI stuff like nausea, but, and this is the part you got to file away for later, it can also cause a small, moderate increase in heart rate, maybe 2 to 4 beats per minute. Remember that.
All right, now let's pivot to what's coming next. Retrutide. This is the next-gen drug that's still being developed, and it's promising even more power. But with that promise comes a whole lot of unanswered questions.
First things first, let's be super clear about the timeline here. You can't get Retatrutide today. It's in the final stage of trials, phase 3. And even if everything goes absolutely perfectly from this point on, the absolute earliest we might see it get approved is late 2026, maybe even 2027. So it's a ways off.
So what's its secret? Well, if Tirzepatide is a dual agonist, Retatrutide is a triple agonist. It adds a third hormone to that mix, glucagon. This is the secret sauce. It's the key difference, and it's the source of both its extra power and its extra risk. And you can see that power difference right away. Where Tirzepatide was topping out around that 22% mark in trials, the early data on Retatrutide is showing weight loss closer to 25%. I mean, some people are seeing results that are getting into the same ballpark as bariatric surgery. It's wild.
So why is it so much stronger? It's not just about feeling less hungry. This is the key. That glucagon component also increases your energy expenditure. It's actually turning up your body's thermostat, your metabolic rate. That's a whole different and way more powerful way of doing things.
But here's the catch. Here's the trade-off. Remember that little 2 to 4 beat per minute heart rate increase with Tirzepatide? Well, with Retatrutide, that number jumps a lot. We're talking up to 10 beats per minute. That same stimulating effect from the glucagon that burns more energy, it also puts more of a strain on your heart. For anyone who already has heart sensitivities, that is a major red flag.
Which, of course, brings us to the most important part of all of this, your personal equation. I mean, the data is one thing, but figuring out how it applies to your specific health profile, that's what really matters.
And when you lay it all out side by side like this, the trade-offs become, crystal clear. Tirzepatide is approved, we have real-world safety data, and the side effects are pretty moderate. Retatrutide offers even more weight loss, but we just don't know about its long-term safety, the side effects seem more intense, and it's still years away from even being an option.
Okay, so this leads us to probably the biggest question people have about any of these medications. Once you start, are you on it for life? Is it a lifelong commitment?
Honestly, the best way to think about this is to treat it just like you would blood pressure medicine. Obesity is a chronic condition, and that means it often needs a chronic treatment. The drug is essentially correcting a chemical situation in your body. If you take the drug away, that chemistry tends to go back to how it was, and that's when the weight often comes back. But chronic treatment doesn't necessarily mean you're stuck on a super high dose forever. Not at all. There's a much smarter strategy. Step 1, use a higher therapeutic dose to get to your weight loss goal. Step 2, you stabilize there and really lock in those new lifestyle habits. And then, Step 3, you taper way down to a much lower weekly maintenance dose. That keeps the results going while minimizing the side effects, the risk, and frankly, the cost.
So, let's just wrap this all up. Right now, Tirzepatide offers the best balance of being super effective while also having a safety profile that we actually know and understand. Retatrutide looks like it could be even more powerful, but that stimulating effect means it has a higher risk profile and it's just not going to be right for everyone. At the end of the day, the choice really boils down to your personal health and your own tolerance for risk. And yeah, long-term use is probably a part of the deal, but it can be managed smartly.
And that's really the big takeaway here. As all these incredible new treatments keep coming out, the goal is no longer just finding the single strongest drug on the market. The future of medicine is all about precision. It's about finding the right drug that perfectly fits your individual biology, your goals, and your risk profile. The question isn't just how much weight can I lose anymore. It's what is the safest, most sustainable way for me to be healthy.